cryptocurrency space is slowly coming down with Bitcoin bouncing and creeping higher. This is kind of that moment where you are looking at, okay, are we going to go higher? Yes, we are looking at this in a positive manner because this downturn is from last October and now you are breaking higher. You have seen this trend following for all this time and now you're breaking higher, which shows you that we can retest this first range, which would be around $40,000 to $42,000. And if you're able to break above that, which is also the trend line here, then you are going to test this 44k range, which should give a higher high, which is really important at this point because if you are putting a higher high, the trend is changing. With this breakout, it shows you are going to continue to the upside. But one of the real issues of cryptocurrency investors is that they want to get this run up. They want to ride it from the bottom till the top, but they don't really have the ability to go through this downturn. Before you actually get this run to the upside, yes, you do have the first rally, then you go all the way back down, which we call suckers rally. But that 80% downturn, if you are able to digest that, you then can ride this from the bottom to top. So if you are not in for this drop and consolidation for that extended period of time, you're not able to actually ride this from the bottom to top. Are you here for the actual run up? Because if you look at macro scenario, you are going to get these drops every now and then. It's not only in one particular currency. You see like, say Bitcoin did this. Now with that value of $10,000, $14,000 back then, we dropped 70%. Right now, if you're looking at the price of Bitcoin, you'll understand we first dropped 55%. And now again, we are repeating the same. So you look at the market and you are definitely looking at it in a way that, okay, I want money, but I'm not able to go through this kind of pain. But if you're able to digest this level of pain, you are going to see breakouts, you are going to make money. So if you're looking at the altcoin market right now, this is a trend which you're observing. Fine, you need to break higher. But what is the good news here is when people inform you that no, we are going to go to the downside, you need to actually look at the change in narrative, the change in the atmosphere. Banks providing crypto services to double in 2022. So what does this actually mean? So if I'm looking at the cryptocurrency space here in Korea, I'm like, okay, fine, this is not the proper stuff you need, and this was not what we had before in 2018, 2019, like that, because it was easy to put money into crypto back then because the market was dropping, people were scared and they were moving out. It was fine. But then the market started moving up and banks started slowing down. They didn't allow you to put more money in. A lot of banks started kicking out crypto institutions. Now it's slowly coming back up. So this definitely means this is going to be a year where you are going to watch a lot of banks allowing you to put your money in basically to a crypto firm. Let it be an exchange, let it be your wallet provider, whatever it is, they are going to allow you to deposit your fiat there. So that means a lot of new money is going to come into the market. Right now, yes, you do have some kind of bad news from US, but on the other side, you see positive stuff evolving. Now, yes, it's not all that positive. You need to actually understand the macro direction, and then you're like, okay, fine, I do understand where we are going. So if you really want to get an idea of what's happening around you, when you see the price of XRP slowing down and staying there, even when the market is bouncing, we are not bouncing, right? So we need to actually dig deeper into shorter time frame charts, longer time frame chart, medium term to understand what's happening. And we are going to do that here. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now that you know that money is moving into crypto space, investors, institutional investors are moving on towards this. Because if you look at this, you can really see how the portion is increasing. you can actually see wealth managers, asset managers, portfolio managers coming out with cryptocurrencies into their fees, right? Yeah, because that's kind of really volatile asset, and if you are looking at how people are going to manage this, a lot of new money is going to come in, and a lot of money is going to be allocated for cryptocurrency investments. Right now, if you are looking at this is something we all need to clearly conceive as XRP investors. Why? If you look at this, you can certainly understand one thing. Ripple, the company, has a ton of XRP with them. They really don't have to go to the secondary markets and buy it. But they are doing that now, and it's for a purpose, right? If they are buying it right now for a purpose, you need to understand it's not for them to hold more. It can be a little bit like that. If the price skyrockets, they are able to use this. Fine. But you look at the number of transactions executed on that ledger. It's like 130 million transaction and 100 billion transacted. Now that's $113 billion on XRP ledger, which is up from 90 million transactions and 69 billion transacted. So that just doubled. Now these are not the small numbers. So if you don't understand how we are directed towards the actual financial freedom, if you hold this asset in long term, you really don't understand investments. You look at an asset and how the things are evolving. You look at this one, Digital Pound Foundation gives you this small, that glimpse of payments arena and what's going to come. This is starting this year in London and Stockholm. The Bank for International Settlement announced it will be launching Innovation Hub focusing on CBDC, payments, DeFi, and green finance. Now, we have talked about this over and over again. But if you look at where Ripple, the company, is moving, they are slowly moving, expanding, opening new offices in Europe and all. You kind of get this idea that we are going to that arena. But yes, on the other side of this, where US, the leaders of these organizations are kind of coming out with creepy, what I can say, it's not even weird, it's not even creepy, it's something even worse, where they are giving things like this out. So literally, Stefan actually put this one out like this. Clearly, this is what it actually means. And it really concerns you as an investor, and you're looking forward to the technology adoption in your country. But on the other aisle, when you see these leaders stepping up and trying to, looking at this agenda, now whether they're going to regulate it, whether they're going to ban it, we need to actually look at what really comes out. But they are going to take some steps onto this. But right now, it's about the price. If you look at the price here in Bitcoin, we just talked about this. We understand that this is going to happen. And if you wait, you are going to get those one. Now, this is Bitcoin on a shorter time frame. This is what we are eyeing at right now. So you definitely need to get a higher high here. You got a lower high. Then you came up, created a higher high. That looks actually fine. So if you go on to a 12-hour chart for Bitcoin, you are watching this one. You got a lower high compared to this one, then a higher low compared to this one, right? Now you need a higher high showing you there is a change in trend. Fine, that's great, that's good. Now, what you have to surpass is this level of previous support, which will be acting as a resistance right now. So if you're able to do that, then what's the next key level? It comes towards 44K. Now, why do I say that is a key area? Because if you go into a longer time frame chart, say a higher time frame chart, you get to see if we move above that zone, we are making a higher high on a higher time frame chart, say a daily, weekly, like that. That's actually a great scenario there. Then you look at the altcoin market in general, and you understand, okay, we broke below this. Now, we have talked about this previously. We have had similar patterns and we have had similar ideas happening. Now, if the market is actually giving you this symptom showing you we can do these and we are doing something like this, that's a great opportunity to buy in my opinion. So when I look at it, I'm looking at different assets which can perform well, say one of which is actually XRP. But the problem is, You need a ton of patience to be in this asset, because when you look at the cryptocurrency space and observe it, like, okay, there's a lot of different coins running up, you really want to move on to those. You don't mind about the fundamentals at that point. Majority are just jumping out from one coin and moving on to the other one because they see they are in green, but they don't really look at the fundamentals and what's the long-term outlook for any asset before they do so. Now that's one of the reasons why, if you can come here, you look at, say for example, if you look at Quant, it's a payment token, right? That's a great one. So now look at on which platform it's built. So can you actually move it to different wallets? Yes. What's the cost associated with that? Say you are a bank who want to operate your own wallet for that, and you don't want to put that money into your exchanges. You only want to, say you're a big bank who's going to use Quant, right? It's great asset, it's in the financial space and great. So imagine you now want to keep your money on your hands and you only want to transact when that transaction is actually going to be executed. So that means you're only using the exchanges when you want to. So at that portion, you're going to move some funds into the exchange and do that. Look at what would be the fees and which platform it's built. You will definitely understand why I say this. Now, yes, the price went from $1 all the way up to that $400.30 mark. But right now you need to understand the market will always digest the reality. Right now it's below $100, fine, but the trend is still up. There's a daily chart, you go on a weekly chart and you can observe like we are slowly grinding to the upside where the RSI is at the bottom. This may feel like, okay, people are coming to buy back in here because we dropped like this. But now you look at XRP, XLM, whichever asset you want, against dollar first. And on a weekly, you clearly understand this is also something similar. You're trending to the upside. But when you come back to test these supports, how many of you are able to digest this? Not everyone can actually withstand this. Similar to that of this one here. Those who held on here were able to ride the XRP to $2 mark. Now, if you're evaluating them, you now understand, okay, this is just a little bit more patience which you need. But when you are looking at the overall scenario, so you're looking at different coins here in this market. When you take a look at this coin, you kind of really understand the history is repeating itself. And human beings make that mistake again and again because we forget history. We had the breakout, we went higher, we came back down here. But if you look at the actual downturn there, you're going to see like 80-85% drop there. That's not a small thing. Then you had the massive run up, which was like 140x. That's not a small thing. That's a huge run up. Now, if you look at the current scenario, we dropped like 87%. So yes, the wave one is completed. We dropped 80%, 85% in various assets, some even 90%. But I'm not the fan of that asset which dropped 99.9%. You need to first look at the fundamentals and then come on to the technical and see where in the market cycle it is. So right now, if you look at these, you are kind of looking for a general idea where you understand, okay, this was previous support zone that acted as a resistance. You broke high, the change happened, right? The trend actually changed, you moved into a bullish sentiment. Now you're consolidating there inside that pattern, respecting this particular trend line. So what are you eyeing at? The next big rally. Yes, we are going to see that, in my opinion, and I definitely believe those who are going to move out at this point in the crypto market and out into different one like stocks, gold, silver, it's all fine. It's your money, it's your decision. But in 6 months, in a year, when you see this wave completed, this cycle completed, that should not be the time where you are regretting. This is a time where you can look at a lot of different assets in this asset class to understand, if they have been there back in the cycle, say last one, you can observe what they did in the first one, how long it took from the bottom to top. You can observe what's happening, right? You always get this range of accumulation where you trade below that, retest it, go back down. You get that all the time. And then you break higher, do the wave 1, do wave 2 and wave 3. So if you believe this time it is different, we are not going to have the wave 1, wave 2 structure. Now, it's your decision, fine. But while taking financial decisions, you need to think as many times as possible and try to learn from the mistakes which happened in the history. So if you are watching this, it does show like, okay, there is no much big correction here, but that was also around 75-80% correction. Then again you went up, you corrected again, so you always get these drops. So if you're not able to digest these drops, you're not able to get to the highest level of the run. Now you don't want to really catch the exact top. It's great to watch it, but it's hard to catch the top or the bottom. So expect that you're going to miss 15% at the top and 15% at the bottom. You're still able to get that 70% of the actual run up, which is great. So right now I'm looking at this market, I'm like, okay, yes, we dropped around we dropped around 80-90% and we are going back up, grinding up. We're making a new high. The trend is still to the upside. So definitely when the RSI is slowing down, you will get an opportunity to buy, because above the all-time high is where you consolidate some time. You go look at Ether, you go look at any different assets, say, which went above the all-time high, you are able to observe that. Say, now those were something I was discussing with my members. Now, if you're looking at this, you went above the all-time high, you consolidated here, that's all great, that's all cool. We understand that scenario, right? That is going to come and mainly different assets which are going to hit the all-time highs. And then you're going to continue. So if you don't get this particular space here, you're not going to be able to enjoy this. And if you really want to enjoy this, the problem is either you need to find the exact bottom, which is really hard to do, or you should go through the entire process. Now the process itself is hard, but the reward itself is not bad for that. So definitely if you want to go through and get this one, you need to go through these drops. And right now the market will actually show you what we are doing. As we break higher, that turns into a bullish sentiment. Now that's a daily chart. So when you go on a weekly chart, you again observe something similar to what we just saw in the Ether one. Because Ether is the biggest cap in the altcoin, and this is the altcoin market cap. So you understand that scenario clearly. So you are going to do this again and again. After a run up, you're going to do this. Then in the next rally mode, you're going to go up, do this. Now we have gone through that again and again, so I'm not repeating that. But understand, the opportunity never stays there. This is the place where I kind of give you the update, understanding what's happening in the market with a lot of different assets. What can we learn from the last cycle? What you can take out into this one. And when you see drops 90% in an asset, what you can look for an asset in the BDC, a lot of different assets and updates regarding the price and what you can expect. So that's what we do in the Patreon. The link is in the description below if you want to follow that. And I'd suggest you can join next month early. That's just a day ahead, which would be better for you now. Understand, market is changing. And in the changing markets, if you are not taking proper decisions, it can hurt your portfolio. If you're taking the wrong decision, that's going to be really bad. But always understand the basic stuff you need to know is you don't have to follow anyone, you don't have to follow any groups, you just have to learn from the trend. So here, if you are waiting with that level of patience, you can look for a higher high, higher low, than the trend changing to the upside, or a breakout, and then you are able to trade it yourself. Otherwise, read the book. Japanese Candlestick Charting Techniques is a real great book from Steve Nyson, where you get to learn a lot of stuff technically. So if you are wanting to look at all those stuff, you can actually take your time, learn that stuff, make your money your own. If not, you can look for guys who have done this over and over again over a long period of time. So guys, I believe you received value for your time, and if you really did, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.